Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my Sunday talk. I'm so sorry for that. We're still stuck in the crisis of this disease, and I'm sorry for that. Feel really bad about whole world when I see everyday's news. Although situation is worse and everyone is suffering, but still we cannot fall in suffering. We have to stand and be stronger than earlier. So in that case, we are doing our weekly Sunday talk, and then we are also trying to focus on the subject that is related to spiritual practice rather than only focus on disease and crisis, right? There are a lot of TV channels always talking about it. I feel like I'm fed of it. By the way, so here today I would like to talk about a little bit about karma and how we see crisis through understanding of karma. Because I keep hearing people about it is karma or not, and what kind of karma can involved in this kind of situation. So in that case, it remind me of one Buddha's teaching. Buddha said that kyone dunge ge jishi kyola dunge mituna ngosum dagam kodoro deba jinji le mecha. Buddha was saying that if you scared of suffering, if you don't think suffering is something that that's something you want, then apparently or unapparently, within the hiding way, don't do non-virtual action. So that is simple teaching, right? If you don't want to suffering, if you don't like suffering, and then best way to do is whether people see it or not, don't do non-virtuous action. So this teaching tells us we are suffering from what we did. That we are gonna suffer more due to what we are doing now. So mainly talking about cause and effect. So that case, in general, what we are saying that you pay what you did, and that is that thing. You pay what you did. All kind of sufferings, individual sufferings, and sufferings of society. All these kind of sufferings, outcome of our action, what we did. What we did, and then our future suffering also depend on what we are doing now. I was thinking, if we don't handle ourselves very well now, then we will fall in the suffering, into the crisis, into the big problem. I remember I saw cartoon when I was a child. Yeah, like in around 88 or something like that, 1988. And in that cartoon was comparing two things there. One is grasshopper and other one is ant. Maybe many of you saw it. And grasshopper is grasshopper, right? How to say it? Grasshopper. Grasshopper is always playing the guitar and enjoying during the summertime in and autumn. Then the ants are really working hard. The winter comes, then grasshoppers is suffering, and ants are really cozy in their underground, in their home of underground. So like that, really is depend on your action. So Buddha was saying that all outcomes of our fault of our action. So when we think about climate change, it's depend on our action. Uh, we are negligent and we did not focus very well on the general thing, the common goods or whatever you call. Because of that, then the farmers are suffering, animals are suffering. Due to that, we're also suffering indirectly. And then even in this kind of crisis, also outcome of our action. Uh, I don't know it's sure or not, right? They're saying like, oh, disease come from wild animals, right? I think this is the most likely case. If it is come from wild animals are not coming to your house, right? You go to forest and catch them or raise them or farm them or do like this crazy thing. Then you got sick. That's our action. Then there's other conspiracy theory. Then it's really like people, human created it or whatever they said, right? So that means even the crisis that we are facing now is outcome of mankind action. Look at the nature of the world, full of curing, healing, full of healing, forest, water, all this kind of nature is full of healing, I think. So so in that case, Buddha was telling people, don't do non-virtuous action if you want to be happy. And then also currently we are talking about not enough kids, not enough those kind of equipment in hospital. This is also fault of our action. We did not prepare. So we did not prepare. We are being negligent about these things. It's not earthquake. The earthquake is come without warning. This disease come with warning. In this country. In America, we saw it. We know it's coming here, but it's still not doing is also kind of non-virtuous action, in my understanding. You are responsible to do it, and then you are not doing it, right? So being negligent, maybe a focus on other things. So and this is one thing. So it's so clear, but does not matter people see it or they don't see it. You cause it, you pay it. And then so from a single issue to big issue, all them are depend on our action. So then if we worry so much about this thing, this is also can be a cause of suffering in the future. I urge people not to be worry so much. Just do what we have to do. Worrying so much and doing nothing is the problem. Always biggest problem in my life, in my experience. Sometimes we worry so much, they do nothing, then it causes you fatigue and stress, and then it collapses everything, right? So that is really Champul teaching what Shantideva said. If you can fix it, you don't need to worry about it. Just fix it, right? Shantideva said that. If you cannot fix it, then even though you worry so much, you cannot do anything. So that there's no any reason to be worried so much. I think that's true, right? So in that case, our future is our hand now, right? So what we did is did. We cannot go back. If yourself or anybody in your family or any one of your friend or friends of friend, now that we have that friend. So if they are suffering from current disease, that is, we cannot go back and change it, right? So no need to worry that much. Just do what you can do now. Just handle it, right? And do best. But what we can do now is, as Buddha mentioned, if you don't want to suffer, then don't do non-virtuous action, being negligent about other people's well-being. I was getting information from people saying like that, or somebody is sick. My first advice is, then don't give that sickness to other one. That is my first advice if somebody gets sick, right? So that is the main thing. And then that is virtue, action of virtue. The biggest problem is that because of our selfishness, if you were sinking or if you were sick, then you pull everybody with you down there, right? That is always the problem. So when I think about non-virtuous action, I always think about it is not the action that you go out with like machete and like running here and there. Doesn't need to be that way, right? This day you go out with disease that is like that, but you are running around with machete or something like, oh, it's worse than that, then this time taking care of yourself is also taking care of other people, right? If you love other people, if you love your family, the first thing you should take care of yourself. Unless you are superheroes, means like you are in the hospital or saving a lot of people's life. And surely then you may not have time to think about your small family. You are sacrificing yourself in hospital and helping a lot of people. And that time your well-being is not only important to your family. At that time your well-being is important to a lot of people that is suffering in clinic. And then I was hearing that people who are working in clinic seems like they are almost going to get the disease, but it's still right. So they might not have that much time to worry so much about themselves, but it's still these people, they try to stay away from their family. That is one of virtuous practice. Second thing, and they are dedicating their work to help who are suffering in the hospital. I don't mean everybody should be like that, but I mean people who are doing these kind of things. There are kind of in Indian language we say Mahan, right? I don't know what is Mahan in English, but means like great, right? Great people. They are great people. Greedy, not greedy people, yeah, they are like warm heart. Then they have, they are really life savior. Then you cannot say like that, I don't want a disease, I don't want to go to hospital in order to save my family, right? Surely you have to save your family, but you might have responsible to work there if you want, but nobody is forced to do it. So other than that, right? Other than that, means you are not obligated to expose to disease or go to there. It's really important to take care of yourself as taking care of your family. So this is the action of virtue. Other than that, action of non-virtue, sometimes you sounds like you are like Bodhisattva, and you say, oh, I don't care, I have no any self-attachment, I don't care, if I got sick, I don't care. Then that sounds like Bodhisattva, but if you think carefully, that is not Bodhisattva's way of thinking. That is, looks like Bodhisattva's way of thinking, and that is really negligent and part of non-virtue according to current situation. So that is very realistic when Buddha say, if you do it as apparently, you do it obviously or you do it unobviously. No matter, since you did it, and then there will be consequence. Then, so in that case, then what way can explain this through karma, right? That's the second question. What karma has to do with it? There's one teaching saying, Lele jigde na soje. All those funny things in the world are outcome of different karmas. Everything that occurs are a result of karma. there's one saying that means there could be many different karmas. And then that is like general understanding of karma. You look at those animals. When I see very rare animal like some fish, they are hiding underneath the water. They also have worm in their tongue to delude other fish to catch, right? Kind of like somebody made it, somebody designed it. Like really, like I was so, when I look at these things, I feel like really strange. They have like exactly what they need, right? They can hide there. They have a similar body color as the environment, and just body color of environment. If they can blind there, that doesn't mean that they can get food. Then they have some sort of worm, right, in their mouth, or sometimes it's on their tail. Then it deceive other animals and catch it. So right, so in Buddhist understanding, that is the karma, right? When you're born with karma, you will get what you need there. So anyway, the karma, when it comes for karma here, explanation is actually, when we're talking about karma, that is really important. Saying like that here, Buddha's teaching on he's saying that Kaundo Neya Leji Mitsube Sajo Dini Yoba Mainde Pana Lame Gasu Naname Ruo Namji Sep to Shukyamen. Saying like that, there's no place to hide from your karma. Not in the ocean, not in the space, not even in forests, or like between the Rocky Mountains. You have no place to hide anywhere from your karma. That is the essential concept of karma. To explain that teaching, then there are like Buddha's own story, right? There are Buddha's own story. Buddha got injured on his on one of his foot, right, by stinging thorn. Or then there are all the other stories, I think I mentioned it, like getting not clean water. Or there are stories like that, karmic stories, and so they're saying like even like Buddha himself cannot escape from karma, right? So Buddha never had a bad karma. It is kind of Theravada teaching, but it's still implication is saying like that karma will follow you. So they're saying in understanding of Theravada teaching, Buddha got enlightenment, but still he have the body that is outcome of his previous karma, right? A Theravada understanding, when the Buddha was born, he is not Buddha. He is born as ordinary people, right? That body is result of his previous karma. Then he got enlightenment, but still he is holding that contaminated body. Because of that, Because of that, then he is suffering a little bit, right? Then there are king's story. The great king, like Alexander the Great, or sort of this king who have power, who have money. they who have, everything, like 1,000 of gods standing around palace. Even the little bugs cannot come in. That sort of, very secure place. The karma will reach them and they are dying. Right? So all those, the king who doesn't believe in karma, they're at the end of the day, really they have no space. They have no place to escape. This kind of stories everywhere. If you read stories about emperor in China, in like all this, maybe the Ashoka is most clever king in the world. He know how to deal with it end of the day. But other than that, many kings are suffering. Then those hunters, the poacher, they are like hunting and poaching, killing all different kind of animals. Surely most of them are not killing for food. They are killing for trade, right? Trade of skin, trade of envy or ivory, right? So then all this kind of thing, then at the end of the day, many of them are seeing animals coming after them. No matter they are, believing in religion or not, they can see it, they can feel it, they can hear it. So that is the karma, right? You are chasing by your own karma. So then, so in that case, we have to go back a little bit, like we have to pay what we did, right? So that is the theory of karma. It's coming up to you, what you did and what I did as individual. Then there's other thing called share karma. We have to pay what we did, and that is that is not only Buddhist teaching. I saw in some other religious book, somebody did bad thing and a whole village is paying for it, right? These kind of stories there. So like that, sometimes many people did misdeed together, like non-virtuous, and then sometimes that come back as bundle package for everyone. Then sometimes sometimes you can escape from it by individual, but likely most people can get effect from it. So we'll call it share karma. And that is not new concept that I met. It was there during the Buddha's time. If you read story of Buddha, there are stories, they have shared karma. Somebody tried to run it. Then, they are faced with issue. So I'm not trying to say that the current situation is outcome of shared karma. But, I'm also not saying that it is not outcome of shared karma. Right? Who knows? It is outcome of shared karma or it's outcome of not outcome of shared karma. But if it is outcome of shared karma, right, then we will pray, right? That's what we are praying for it. Then we should learn how to act better in the future. Right? Then we have to work together. In the shared karma, it could be a good karma and bad karma, right? If you many of people did bad things together, and, then we are facing with suffering together. If we do good things together, then we are facing with good things, the happiness together. So in that case, right, if it is sheer karma, you don't need to worry that much. That is the web, You might going to hit by it, you might not going to hit by it. Then the best thing is that take care of yourself and pray for it, right? Whom are you trusting, right? That's what I'm saying. Practice compassion and love and meditate on it. Then pray for well-being of every sentient beings. This time, where human beings are suffering, that is strange, right? Why we are suffering? And few monkeys in Thailand, the monkeys who are getting food from human being, maybe they are not getting the food enough. Then maybe some stray dog, I don't know, but dogs are smart. So anyway, other than that, where human beings are suffering, right? Where human beings are suffering, animals are happy. They are. But normally, what happening, right? Normally, where human beings looks okay in many places, a lot of animals are suffering. A lot of birds are suffering. A lot of water fish are suffering because of our this kind of releasing what you call it, spilling oil, right, in the ocean, in testing all these poisons in the ocean, and because of drought, no more water, and so this time we are suffering. So I could not say this is not karma, right? But I also don't say this is karma. Right? It's hard to tell what is it. But remember what Buddha said. Buddha said is behave yourself. That is everything. Whether it's karma or not is outcome of our action. That is sure, right? So then we cannot go back and we cannot change the past time. What we can change is we can change the future. What we can save is we can save the future. So that means I am requesting all of us, all of our friends, don't worry so much. Don't worry so much. The worry can make you are weak. You are sick, right? Learn how to stay calm in the crisis. That is one of main Buddhist practice. If you are really practitioner, if you want to be crazy, you can be crazy. You would be crazy a long time ago. Suffering is everywhere, right? Not only this time. So, honestly, right? So, be stable. Focus on your, no need to focus on the news that much. Sometimes, seeing one thing again can cause kind of, trauma in your head. But we are very tend to talk about this thing, but should not close the window at all, right? Just watch news once in a day, right? Then rest of the day, just focus on what you are doing in the teaching. And, as we mentioned earlier, like you can read the history, you can learn about history, you can write something that you are willing to write long time ago, right? There are a lot of things to do. You can clean your house, that is, so sounds like my task to do, right? So normally I clean my house, it will take 2 to 3 days. So, so then, you are indoor most time, surely you are making, messy there all the time. So, really no need to worry that much. Honestly, each individual is safe, then whole world is safe, right? So I want to say enjoy your rest of weekend, but it sounds like funny, but that's true. If you don't enjoy yourself, then then nobody can help. Inside, always I'm saying you have remote control in your hand. So use that remote control and try to be calm and try to be happy. Even somebody say, always I'm saying, one day death come to your house and knock your door and say, I'm here, right? Still you should be calm, right? That is what we need all the time. So, and thank you for listening my talk, and see you next week.